shit. Fuck. Oh, there it is. Hello, my name is Hoppy Rabbit, but you can just call me Blank. This isn't my first video, but it is probably going to be the first video that I keep listed and not deleted. And I'm not really an animator or an illustrator, to be honest. I sometimes do it, or I want to be, and I guess that's why I'm doing this in the first place. And that is that this video isn't really an introduction to the channel or a welcome, hey, this is my first video kind of thing, but I have a reason to make this video, and it is shame-based identity. And it all started when I was doom scrolling YouTube, like one does, and I found this channel called Taroju, and I thought their animations were pretty cool. I thought they were really good, and I felt bitter and resentful, not to Taroju, but to myself. And I was thinking that they're just out of my league. We can't be friends. They're so good and I'm so bad. And so to make myself feel better, I just filled in the gaps of their life, I suppose, and assumed that they're just some privileged person. And that's the reason why they're so good. But the more that I've watched their videos, the more that I've come to find that they're not really that privileged. And I felt relieved. As if I'm not too ashamed of myself. However, my feelings were a bit mixed and I didn't really know how to feel, I suppose. I still kind of felt bad, but fine at the same time. So I went out for a walk and I had the idea to make this video. So I wrote a script and later on I scrapped it. And so I wrote a couple more scripts and I scrapped those too, mostly because it had a lot of parts in it that was about woe is me. And I don't want to come across as if my life is probably like the most difficult life in the world, but I'm also not going to brush it off as if it's not significant at all. There was one point in the script that stayed consistent, and that was this line saying that the video is now kind of a cry for help. And to be honest, I kind of cringe when I hear that. But I guess what I was trying to say is that I want friends. I want people who are cool and good. I want other artist friends and those perhaps out of my league. But I just feel so ashamed of myself that I'm not good enough. And I don't really have much friends in general, mostly because I have pretty bad anxiety. And that's kind of where I started looking into what I was feeling. And I found something called shame-based identity and was able to name what I was feeling, I suppose. And the way that I kind of describe it is like a superiority complex, but the opposite of that. It's like an inferiority complex. Basically, everybody is like so much better than me and I don't deserve to be around them. And it kind of reminds me of this one video I watched when doom scrolling YouTube. I found this channel called Sugar and they had a video about their dating experiences. And there was one person who didn't want to date them because they made more money than them. And to be honest, that's kind of weird. I think it's kind of weird to do, but at the same time I think I might be able to understand, having said all this, that if I were in their position I would just kind of feel so ashamed that I make so little and they make so much more. And like one of the leading causes of divorce in America is like finances, and even though I would want to get better financially, I would just feel kind of out of place, that someone that I'm with, I would just have to feel inferior for most of the time. And I know that's not what romance is or anything like that. And I suppose having talked about Sugar and my scripts being woe is me, I suppose, having watched some of their videos, they kind of talked about their problems, and I kind of found it to be strange because I was taught not to talk about my problems, I suppose. And I know it's not necessarily a bad thing now, but I don't know. I found it so weird to hear someone talk about their problems publicly, and I'm like, I can do that? And so maybe that's something that I might do in the future. I have no idea. But again, I don't want to like spew woe is me or anything like that. I just want friends. And those who want to know me for who I am, I suppose. So all in all, the point has kind of been that I want friends, and it doesn't matter if I feel so ashamed of myself or anything like that. And it's not just Taroju that I would want to be friends with, but it's everybody. If you want to be friends too, I totally have a Discord server that should be in the description or something. And because Taroju has kind of been the reason why I'm even making this video in the first place, I kind of wanted to dedicate this character to them. Oh, that's not right. There we go. So going forward, this will be Hoppy Rabbit, I suppose.